first of all, I think my power ratings think Texas is the most overrated team in the preseason. I was stunned when I got done with this, what my power rating said. We can go to that. You'll see that on the page. I mean, Texas being ranked number one in all of these publications. I mean, my power ratings have them the third best team in their league. In fact, I haven't put out my best bet win totals yet because I think now with all the player movement, I used to say the thing used to be on win totals, get in early, right? Before the market is set.
Sure.
But I think now with all the player movement, now they're adding another portal window for disciplinary kids and walk-ons and, who knows? Okay. To me, I think wait as late as possible now. Have as much. I will tell you, it is very possible I'm going to have under 10.5 wins as best bets for both Ohio State and Texas. I look at their schedules. I think, first of all, they play one another week 1. So that's a loss for one of them right there. Right. I only need the other one to get one more loss in the next 11 games. You look at their schedules. I counted 7 very losable games, I thought, for Ohio State and Texas. I mean, and when I say losable, anywhere from 25 to 30%. And if you're going to put a win total on a team with a 10.5, I just don't think there ought to be that many games that you have a 1-4, 1-3 chance of losing. Okay. So, I mean, I have Texas in my power ratings closer to Texas A&M than I do Alabama and Georgia. I maybe Arch Manning will be great. Probably will be to some degree. But I have to ask myself, this isn't he set out last year as a freshman and then they let Quinn Ewers play. He couldn't beat him out for 2 years, Mark, a 7th-round draft pick. For 2 years. Help me understand that. That makes no sense. I don't know, man. I mean, and here's the thing. I still have them in my power ratings as kind of in that, last group of at-large teams competing for a playoff bid realm. But all these magazines rating them number one. I don't agree with that at all. I don't. I think Clemson has a much stronger case. They get LSU with an all-new starting offensive line that opening week at home. You win that, and then you kind of dominate the ACC, which they did even last year when they lost 3 games. And that was the third team that he mentioned, Penn State. I have Penn State. I'm going to have Penn State in the national championship game, losing to Alabama more than likely.
Yeah. So the way things have stacked up for me, and I have yet to release all these predictions, but I got Texas losing 2 games in the SEC. I've got them beating Ohio State. Who knows? Toss up. It's in Columbus, but Ohio State could be an exceptional team that who knows? 9-3 could get in a team like Oklahoma because their schedule's so difficult. Yep. Or maybe if Ohio State loses at the wire to Texas and Penn State, and they're 2 of the 3 top teams in the something like that might get a 9-3 team in. But otherwise, it's we could see one of the big powers left out of the playoffs.
The thing with Texas is they're not really returning a lot, but they're bringing a lot in. So you're really asking a lot of these pieces to mesh. I think their schedule is tougher than it was last year. I mean, listen, I still have them as an absolute top 10 team if you look at this power rating, which is where a top 3 team in the SEC would be. But I this idea that they're like number 1 in all the magazines because they're deserving of some consensus status, Mark, I just don't see that. I just don't. And I'll put my money where my mouth is accordingly when my win total best bets come out here, in a matter of days. I'm going to be on the under 10.5. Texas is a best bet. I think it's way more likely they're 9-3 than 11-1. Way more likely.
Steve, we're really testing your memory here because obviously there's a zillion categories and a zillion teams. But Matthew was asking about Texas special teams being the worst. They brought in the Texas State kicker. He was 30 of 34 the last 2 years.
Yep. So special teams, I have learned over the years, Mark, that is the absolute hardest thing to project. So this year I decided I'm not going to. So my special teams ratings are reflective of what Bill Connolly's SP Plus is projecting will be the special teams ratings at the end of the year. And so in SP Plus, remember, we're comparing Texas not against the country, but just the teams on their schedule. Okay. So Texas was one of the more improved special teams units in SP Plus. I think they were still top 40, top 50, which is not bad at all. But there were so many other SEC teams in that rating there that they were actually, if we're just comparing them within their own conference, that's why they were last.